Stream's supposed to be on. That's the whole reason the stream was supposed to be running on another thing, was to let me know if you could hear me talking.
Well, I got it right here on the computer.
But when you didn't hear me talking,
I just now turned it up.
anyway, let me back up.
Now it's going.
Rocket science alert. So there is a dish that Richard makes from time to time here. It's delicious. It's interesting looking. It's relatively easy and quick. And it's, I mean, he cooks a couple of things, but this is the one that he enjoys cooking the most. So he is going to walk you through cooking this dish that has no name, really. It's another crescent roll creation, but it's a savory dish. So let's just move on to the kitchen. Can you please turn the lights on? And I'll be the camera person. Hopefully the little tripod thing that I was fighting with also is going to hold together. And he's going to, again, he'll give you the step-by-steps. I don't know that he has everything out that he needs for it already, but we're going to find out together. So let's go to the kitchen. Oh, let me get rid of that, whatever that is. Oh, no, that's right. Here's where we're going. Okay. I'm waiting for the stream to catch up with us. I can make sure here it is. And I'm going to come back in here. Oh, my sign is falling. Somebody knocked that? I was going to ask y'all if y'all noticed my sign hanging back there. Can you tell what it says? We found that at an estate sale yesterday. I've been on the lookout for a stand mixer, so we went estate sailing yesterday to see if I could find a stand mixer. There was an estate sale not far from us, and a lot of them, there's a website, estatesales.net, that we use when we want to go estate sailing. And most of the companies that do estate sales will have images, have some photos of the things, or at least some of the things they have available at their respective sales. So lo and behold, I saw a sale yesterday that, yeah, okay, John can read it. It says good vibes. Let's see. John says it looks good, Richard. So he's laughing. Anyway, so we go to this estate sale because I see a picture of a beautiful KitchenAid stand mixer. And the sale had started like maybe 2 hours or so, or maybe 3 hours before we got there. And I didn't have my hopes up. I don't know that everybody needs or wants a stand mixer, so I thought, maybe I'll get lucky and this one is still there. It was the first day of the sale. I wouldn't have even gone on a second day or after. Most of the estate sales we go to are 2 or 3 day sales. And I walked in, so made a beeline to the kitchen because I could see in the picture that it was obviously with the kitchen stuff, and it wasn't there. We looked around. We looked around still because it's still fun to look around and maybe find little treasures that you didn't know you wanted or needed. And I asked one of the people working there how early on that sold, and she said, we might have been running for about 2 hours. She said those never last long, which now I'm disappointed because I was thinking, that's just a really specialty kind of item, right? I wouldn't think that's something that a lot of people would look for at an estate sale, but I guess I'm wrong because she said those never last. So they sold that one within the first couple of hours of the sale starting. And again, of course, we were there like 3 hours after the sale started. So lesson learned. I didn't ask her what they were charging for it because I still know that if I buy one at an estate sale, I'm going to pay a lot less than if I buy a new one. And I don't think I'm going to use it often enough that it justifies buying a new one. Those things are expensive. That's almost weird to me that kind of an appliance could be that expensive. So John says everyone needs a stand mixer. It can make pasta. Oh yeah. So I want it. Hey Michelle, thanks for stopping in. I want it because I want to make conchas. That's my favorite Mexican pastry. It's very near the very top of the list of my favorite pastries in general. But I have really good memories as a little girl. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, who is Mexican-American or was Mexican-American, would take, I don't remember where it was, somewhere in Dallas, would take us to this big Mexican bakery, meaning me and my little sister, and she'd let us pick out whatever sweet treat we wanted, and that is always what I got. I tried everything over time, but I would always just get me a concha. And I decided I want to learn how to make them, and I've been, studying up to learn how to make them, but there's a lot of mixing involved, and I don't think my arms or my little hand mixer could really manage it. So that's why I'm on the lookout for a stand mixer, and maybe I'll do more things with it than I realize, because I know I could do really anything with it that I use a stand mixer for. But I'm just not, I can't feel okay about spending as much as the new ones cost, because even there are some that aren't real pricey. I've looked on Amazon, but they also don't get real good reviews. So I'm sure not going to spend money on what would still be, more than I usually spend on anything, for something that I don't think I'm going to use very often, if it doesn't even have good reviews. So, you go with the KitchenAid ones or the Cuisinart ones or some of those big names, and those always get great reviews, and there's so many other things you can do with them, and they come with all the bells and whistles and attachments. So let's see, John paid $646 for a commercial meat and cheese slicer. Weighs a ton, it's a pill to clean, but you love it. And do you really use it enough that you didn't feel bad to spend that much? To me, that would be so much money, and I would not need a meat and cheese slicer. I say that. I mean, we eat sandwiches, but we don't. I mean, I think for sure when we get to the point that we're growing meat animals and processing some of our own meat, that might be good to think about. And I think I can even do. I want to bake more sourdough bread. I do think I could probably use a stand mixer for. Oh, there goes my sign again. I haven't figured out quite how to hang it. Can you bring me some more tape for this sign when you come in here?
What?
Are you coming in here? Can you bring me some more tape for
What
this?
kind of tape?
I just have that black. I'm gonna put some on the back side to see if that will help.
The electrical tape?
Yeah. But I can't tear it. I always have to use the scissors. Anyway, so back to estate sailing. It wasn't all a bust because I did find. I don't guess would you call it an electric piano? What did it say it was? A piano. I had a piano, but I had zero time to play it, and it was taking up a lot of space. It was a full-size spinet piano. So we sold it, but I've missed it, and so I found a really nice keyboard at an estate sale, and I think they were doing 50% off, so it was a steal. Is that right? What else did we get yesterday? We came home with some fun stuff that we got for good prices. I kind of want a new desk chair because this one, believe it or not, this one sits really low. I have to have a bunch of pillows in this chair to even be up where I'm, sort of in the camera here. And the thing is broken, that the little lever where you can raise it up or lower it, it doesn't go anywhere. So the dogs are being so good. Okay, Richard's getting me some more tape. What else did we get yesterday? We got that piano
Yeah.
and the sign.
That's all.
That's all.
No room you want. Had a tape.
See if that'll help. We can get that on there straight, but it matters. I thought we bought more stuff. Oh, I did find a little, like a little trinket box.
Oh, yeah. And your telescope.
Because I like to keep little trinket boxes. Ooh, yes, let me show you what else I got. For $20. A telescope. So they had this little bundle of stuff. It was this telescope and another telescope, and there was a tripod, and I thought it all went together. I've discovered now that it doesn't all go together. So I'm definitely interested in anyone who can give me some tips on where to get a tripod for this dovetail mount that's on this telescope. And it was $20, y'all. They always mark stuff way down when they're like on the last day of the sales because they don't want to have to pack up a bunch of stuff. This is the other little telescope that came with it. And this, again, this has a stand. Oh, look at it. This little thing fits on a stand. But that's not that dovetail thing. I think I can have some fun with that. And there's a box with lenses and eyepieces and stuff in it, so I think I have everything I need except a stand for that big telescope. So anybody got any tips? Yeah, I got all of that. And it came in a bag. It's in a nice zippered bag. Hey, Drunken Chef. Yeah, Richard's cooking today. I know, Drunken Chef, I know that doesn't mean anything to you because you do cooking all the time, but it's a special occasion when Richard cooks for us, and this is a really tasty thing that he cooks. Let's see, back to the industrial or commercial meat and cheese cutter. John never feels bad, spoiled more like it, and can buy a big slab of ribeye and slice it up nice and neat. Nice. And Michelle says, when my sister worked at Best Buy, she got my mom a lot of kitchen aids for cheap. My mom got them for Christmas, birthdays, etc. Yeah, and I watch for sales and stuff, but even on sale, a good KitchenAid or, again, Cuisinart, the big brands, it's still, you know, I'll buy a telescope for $20, but that same telescope, I think, you know, is over $200. It's still a cheap telescope in the grand scheme of things, but I won't use it enough to justify spending that much money on it. As much as I think I will enjoy it, you know, we got animals to feed. Forget feeding ourselves. I joke with people because people think we have a lot of money because we live in South Lake and because we have equines. We have a horse and a mule. And I've even had people say, you know, oh, y'all must make a lot of money. No, we don't. But even if we did, we wouldn't have a lot of money because we have a lot of animals, including a horse and a mule. They're probably the most expensive animals we feed here because hay is still really expensive. Yancey's probably the cheapest animal we feed.
What?
Yancey's probably the least expensive animal we feed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she eats green beans and lettuce and carrots and, well, even the cats, though, cat food's not what I would call cheap. And we've got 5 cats, so the volume of cats means we go through a lot of cat food. The ducks, I don't consider the ducks and geese to be real expensive to feed because I can get a 50-pound bag of feed for like $20. And then they just get their mixed vegetables and lettuce to go with that, so not real expensive. Even the dogs, I wouldn't say it's real expensive to feed them, but we've got 3 of them. All right, let me get back to chat. Schultze, hey there. I hope that's a good thing. Gosh, I love Linda Ronstadt. I just think she's on the list of all-time best female singers in the world. It breaks my heart that she can't still sing. Okay, John says, you only have a 6-inch telescope, but it's enough for me to see the stars. Yeah, I didn't buy that one, and I'm not as excited because of the size of it. I'm just excited to have it in general, but obviously I need a tripod for it, so. I did find a tripod for it on Amazon, but it's, 6 times the cost of what I paid for the telescope just to buy the tripod. So I don't know about that. I think I know what I'm looking for, though. So obviously if we go estate sailing again at some point, I can now be on the lookout for that. And I have, again, that little tripod that the other thing came with, but I don't know where I would find an adapter. Here's this one. So y'all saw that other little telescope. And see, here's the tripod for it. It's a nice little tripod. But it's got this little square piece, and there's a thing attached to the bottom of that smaller telescope that fits inside here, and then you just push this little lever and it locks it in place. So what I wish is that I could find an adapter. You know, it's got the square base that would lock in here, but then up top it's got the thing to hold on to that dovetail rail that's already attached to the telescope. And those telescopes come that way with that rail. But most of the reasonably priced tripods that I've found, they're like camera ones, and they just have this flat base and there's a screw. What do we have? I almost think we have a GoPro mount that's like that. No? Okay, well the tripods I'm finding, for the most part, do not have a little thing that you know, like tighten to grip onto the ledge of that dovetail. Yeah, I hate missing pieces too. And I wouldn't have known, you know, again, I saw all of this together. I thought it really was all the same collection, and so I foolishly assumed that this tripod that comes with this other little telescope was for all of it. But that's not the case. I don't know a lot about that little telescope yet. It's probably good for looking at the moon, or, you know, watching airplanes or something closer to Earth and a little bit bigger. But I really have wanted a telescope for a long time that will let me see some other planets. I'm not even as, I mean, I love going to planetariums and observatories and stuff and looking at ancient star clusters and all that, but I don't know that I've ever wished that I had a telescope big enough for that. I would really like, though, a telescope. Okay, I'm going to have to take that off. I'm just afraid it's going to fall off the break. And that it didn't really help me to put that middle piece there. We'll have to get some kind of hooks or something for it. But that's my good vibes side. I'd like to find some shelf lights back there that I can just like lay in the bottom of those shelves. Okay. Oh, we'll just have it right there. That'll work. And where the plug is, it has to be closer to behind me. But how much time left? 5 minutes left on the creation. Yeah, if you're still here, Drunken Chef, let me know if you've made this thing before. And I am anxious to try some variations of that. I think that might be fun with like fajita chicken or grilled, or even just herb seasoned chicken. A little kind of puff pastry, savory thing. Let's see, what's going on? I didn't start off by telling you what I'm doing. Again, we went estate sailing yesterday. There's not a lot going on. We do have a potential for some severe weather here tonight. And based on my friend Dan Brunoff, chief meteorologist for KRLD here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, today is sounding like odds are better than they have been in these previous rounds of severe weather systems that have come through. Based on the information he's putting out, it seems like there might be more of a chance that we're actually going to get hit with something here. You know, we usually just get rain, a lot of lightning and thunder, even when there have been tornadoes not far from us and straight line winds that have torn things up. We just get rain and, again, thunderstorm. But he's not the one to do any fear mongering or sound the alarms prematurely. And I know some weather experts do that because they want clicks and they want followers and views on their stuff. And he doesn't do that, which is part of the reason I love him. But he's said just enough today to make me think that there is a part of him that's a little bit more concerned with what's supposed to hit us later today than he has been with any of the systems that have come through before now. I mean, concerned as in, he lives in this area. Obviously, he reports and provides information for a bigger geographic area than where we are and where he is. So he's been concerned for the people that were impacted by the stuff that's hit. But for here, it's been, less than dangerous here. I don't even think we've had hail. When everyone around us has had hail, we haven't had any hail. Let's see. Let me get back to chat. That's a tough find. You might have to get a whole new trim pot and buy a new mount that you can catch with a scope and pot. Oh, that's possible, right? That I could just replace that dovetail thing? Huh. I might look into that, Schultze. I don't know how that's attached. It's probably just screwed on somehow. And if that's the case, then yeah, I might could get a different thing to put a different thing on the tube so that it would fit one of these low-priced but appropriate tripods. That might make more sense. But if I'm going to go big, look for an 8-inch Dobsonian. That's a good starter scope. Yeah, I read up about them. Of course, because I got home and I looked this one up to see what to do with it. And that's when I first noticed, wait a minute, the tripod in the pictures that comes with this when you buy it. So I don't know where the tripod went that was really with this computer when whoever bought it, however long ago they bought it. I could tell, oh, that's not the same tripod. What does that mean? And then I quickly figured out it means that it doesn't have a tripod. Schultze, I want to go to some lakes and get my tan going. Michelle says, we'll be in the background. Okay, yeah, thanks for stopping in. It's so fun to see you here today, Michelle. Okay, John gets 92-degree temperatures here in Central Oregon. It's the high desert. I don't know what the temperature is here today, and I don't have my phone sitting here. Right now, I couldn't even tell you where my phone is. That's good. I don't need to multitask as much as I multitask. Boy, and let me tell you, today did not start off like I wanted it to start off. Richard went out. I guess he did some yard work early this morning. The sun was up, but it wasn't hot yet. But if he goes outside and the dogs are inside, they put up such a fuss. I say they. It's mostly Boone. Boone wants to be outside when Richard's outside. But Bear is very much a follower, more a follower than a leader. And so if Boone is barking and whining and, begging for something, Bear's more inclined to do the same. So here I am trying to sleep, 6:45, 7 o'clock this morning, and the dogs are just going bananas. And I thought Richard maybe had left to go somewhere, go to the store to get stuff to cook today or whatever. No, I think he was just outside working. And, I was so frustrated. My favorite days are, even if I set an alarm, I typically will wake up before the alarm goes off because I don't like that feeling of being awakened by the alarm clock. So I really like it when I can just naturally wake up. Sometimes it has to do with how much light is coming through the windows, as the sun is coming up. But I hear the timer going off. Don't you hear that? So let's go back to the kitchen and see what lunch looks like. Okay, we got to let that cool. I can already tell you that's really, really hot. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, we talked about feeding the animals. Yeah, it's very tasty, Schultzy. Okay, oh, let's see. John says, try having a Pomeranian who starts barking at 5 a.m. when the birds start chirping. Oh. Yeah, I mean, if there's any kind of sound, I joke that if a leaf blows across the front porch, because we have German Shepherd dogs, they must bark. It's a rule. But usually they sleep really good, and they know the routine, because during the week, you know, he gets up and leaves early to go to work, and they don't carry on like that when he, like, leaves the house. It's just because he was outside, and they love being outside, so they were carrying on, either hoping that I would get out of bed and let him outside so that I didn't have to listen to him, or that he would hear them and come in and let them out so they would stop carrying on. But whatever it was a very rude awakening. So, nowhere to go but up. Okay, Schultzy, I have to shave in some other things, including coffee. Next time. Oh, thanks for stopping in, Schultzy. Sending love and hugs your way. Yeah, I'm hungry too. I have not had lunch yet. I think Richard had a snack earlier. But, you know, we have to do a taste test when we do our cooking chats. Next time, cook and chat, and I thought it might be what I did this time, but then Richard talked about doing this. I mean, I've asked him to do this before now, so he just finally agreed to do this. But next time, I think I'm going to try a sourdough discard recipe that I've been wanting to try because the people I know that make it just rave about it. And it should be a pretty quick process because it's sourdough discard. So it's not, you know, making your sourdough dough and then letting it sit out for 8 hours to rise and then putting it in the fridge. It's not all that like making a loaf of sourdough bread. I mean, there's other ways to do that too. This is just a straight through process, so I think it can all be done in probably about the same amount of time as what Richard was putting together today. And it just sounds yummy. I won't tell you anything more about it but that. And it's a kind of a snack that I love, so if it turns out well, I'm going to be happy to have given it a try. And it might be something I do regularly around here. And then I did buy, so we went grocery shopping yesterday, and I did buy a bag of the monk fruit sweetener. Now, the monk fruit sweetener has erythritol in it, which is a sugar alcohol, but it's not sugar. So it's not as bad for you as, at least that's my understanding, that it's not as bad for you as cane sugar. And even cane sugar, you know, it's not that in and of itself it's bad, but I think I read a statistic or heard someone say that the average American, I know it's not true everywhere in the world, average American eats like 350 pounds of sugar a year, the equivalent of 350 pounds of sugar. Because I'm telling you, if you look at the ingredients in anything you buy that's already made and packaged, there's some kind of sugar in it. We bought something at Costco one time, some kind of meat, and it wasn't barbecue or something that, you know, you would assume it's got sugar in it because barbecue sauce is sweet. What was it? It was some kind of beef. And I was really dumbfounded to see that it had sugar in it. So I guess sugar is kind of like garlic in that it can enhance flavors. So even if you're not preparing something that's sweet, there could be a little sugar because it works with the other flavors in the dish to enhance the flavors. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid being diabetic, John, so I try to avoid sugar, but It was one of the things that got me interested in making sourdough bread, because sourdough bread's just easier to digest anyway. But because I can control what goes into it, I mean, I can make sweet sourdough breads, and I still want to figure out how to do a lemon blueberry loaf that will work. But even then, I don't have to add sugar to that.
This one or this one?
This is fine.
Huh?
This is fine. Why? The one you wanted?
No.
Right. Look, Richard brought me my lunch. Can you show him your lunch? There's Richard's lunch. Got it? So we're going to cut into this. Let's see what we get. Oh, I'm going to cut a piece and kind of open it up, see if we can see. Nice and hot. You see the steam coming off of that? Again, we've got a layer of queso, a layer of tortilla chips. It's good every time you make it. Yeah, it's still kind of hot. And then a layer of beef, and then a layer of shredded cheese. Right, that's all? And it's all wrapped up in these crescent rolls. And this does not last here. So we'll eat it now. We'll eat it for dinner later. Richard will take some to work for his lunch tomorrow, and I'll have some for lunch tomorrow, and then it'll be about gone. Sometimes there will be like the equivalent of a crescent roll's worth after we've done, the first 2 or 3 meals with it, and then it's gone. So that's one reason I love it, because it really does all get eaten right away. I know you come here to watch me eat, right? So, I guess we can take name suggestions for this. I don't know what we would call this. And I don't remember ever seeing the Facebook post that Richard found however many years ago that showed how to make it. But he has mastered this. Yeah, that's true, John. For the most part, nothing goes to waste anyway, because I can always scrape a little bit. When there's a little bit left over, put that on top of the dog's food. I'm surprised. Y'all probably didn't see her, but Gucci was standing here wishing she could have a bite. But let's see what else is happening. I might do the final. I'd like to do the final Phantasmagoria live stream this week. So that would be either on Tuesday night or Wednesday night. And Richard and I are working on a video. It's one that it's not going to be published for a while, because it's something where we do one thing and then we have to, add to it days later, and then over time then we'll have enough stuff to compile it and share the results. But I'm hoping it will kind of be part of a series of videos that we'll do that will focus on different things. I won't tell you more than that. And for us, it'll be fun. And I don't think there's anything else going on. We might do just, in the name of being cautious, we might do some practice runs getting all the animals into the hallway today, just in case, because our hallway is our safe space here if we're going to have bad storms. So when we have the few times that we've had the tornado sirens sounding here, that's where we go. And usually it's easy to do with the dogs, because if I just grab a bag of treats or a bucket of treats, then they'll follow me wherever when they hear the word treat. The cats will for the most part too, but it's a little harder to wrangle the cats. Just make sure those look browned. But they know the word treat also. I am a little bit nervous today because I let the ducks and geese out on the pond. Now, Our neighbor has not seen the coyote in a few weeks, and I was not letting the ducks and geese out on the back pasture. This might be the second time they've been out in the last 4 or 5 days. And my hope is that once the coyote stopped having access to, a drive-through smorgasbord of waterfowl, that maybe he or she moved on to go and find some other place for food. But I want them to be ducks and geese. And ducks and geese are not meant to stay locked up in a fence or in a pen. And the little kiddie pools and stuff just are not sufficient to keep them clean and healthy and happy and living the life they were meant to live. So I am a little bit nervous about it. But they also come running when I say that it's time for treats. So they've been out there since about 10 this morning. So I'll probably be going out, right after the stream ends with my cup of frozen peas, because they'll hear that cup. I can shake that cup even, and they'll hear it and come running. So I'll bring them all up and do my head count, and then I'll probably go, it'll be another 2 or 3 days before I'll let them back on the pasture again. I don't know that I'm ever going to get back to where they really go out there every day, because coyotes are smart. And even if there's a coyote that's not, where he was staying before, that he was so close to the pond, I think, they can hear. And I think over time, if a coyote were to hear the sounds of the ducks and geese in a spot, because they can tell where they are just by listening to where the sound is coming from. And I think if I was to let them go out every day, that it wouldn't take very long then before that coyote or another one would realize, oh, I'm hearing ducks and geese over there every day. So I'm going to try to stay one step ahead of him. I think that's it for today. So I'll see you Friday. I guess we'll find out what that stream is going to be about when it happens. I will plan to see you either Tuesday night or Wednesday night to wrap up Phantasmagoria chapters 6 and 7. So be prepared again, because it really gets gruesome and kind of bloody toward the end of the game. By the end of the game, it's, more than some people might have bargained for. I will still have it on the censored version. So the worst parts are going to be like pixelated out. You're not going to have to see it. But that's what I have going on for the channel. We have gained some additional subscribers in the last few days. I'm excited about that. So I want to remind you again that when we hit the 3,000 subscriber mark, we're going to do a prize stream again where we're going to be giving away some prizes. So tell your friends. Share the channel, share the live streams or shorts or whatever is your favorite thing about the channel. And the likes and comments go a long way toward YouTube itself helping to put us out in front of new people. So thanks in advance for doing all of those things. One more comment from John, though we have coyotes out here as well. We also have bobcats and mountain lions. Welcome to the desert. Yeah, we have bobcats here. That is a very common sighting. I almost feel like bobcat sightings here have been more common than the coyote sightings. So I don't know if that just has to do with their hunting styles and what times of day they tend to hunt. I don't know enough about either of them to know why. But we've had a bobcat right here on the property even that took out a batch of ducks and one of our geese. So... but I love it, and we have to coexist. And I think we're kind of at an advantage because the dogs are out a lot, and those kind of animals, bobcats and coyotes and stuff, they're smart, and so they know to stay away from places when they think there's a potential that an animal that's even bigger than they are, or when there are multiple animals that are their size or bigger. They don't want to take that on. So that helps. But I don't think the dogs were barking at a coyote this morning at 6:45. Anyway, I think think that's it for today. Be safe, be happy, be well. I always appreciate it when you stop by. Thanks to those who were watching with us live today. Thanks also to those who will catch the stream later today and be part of the rewatch crew. Tomorrow I'll get back to my obsession with this latest final, I think, Lori Daybell trial. I don't think it's going to take long for that to get finished. Yeah, don't mess with a German Shepherd. Yeah. Good words to live by. I know other dogs would do a good job as well, but these guys, I would not want to be a bobcat tangling. Not Serena, again, she's older, she can't get around, and she would never even approach another animal like that. But these boys, I know, would not hesitate to take care of business, and they can be out all together, so our dogs can be out with the ducks and geese. You know, there's not a problem there. They understand that they're parts of the family, and I think they would be as protective of them as they are and would be of us. So that gives me a little peace of mind, but I'm still kind of nervous to let the ducks out where I can't see them and hear them. But I'll catch up with you in the next video. I love you all and appreciate you more than you realize. So thanks, Richard, for cooking lunch. He's got. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, he said yeah. I didn't think he could hear me. So that was a treat for me to have someone else cook, and I think he enjoys cooking this. So y'all give it a try. I'll put a little description of what he did in the description for the live stream once we end today. But again, not a way to tell you quantities really, except for what I told you, that we used all but 3 of the crescent rolls in 2 packages of crescent rolls for the dish, and we could have just laid it out a little differently and just used them all. But again, now I'll have a treat with some butter and honey for breakfast tomorrow with one of these crescent rolls that just came out of the oven. And that does it for today. So take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, friends.